It was raining the first time Emma saw Liam. Not just light rain, but heavy, angry rain that made everything gray and cold. She had just missed her bus. Her umbrella had broken in the wind, and her phone was dead. She stood at the corner, soaked and shivering, wondering what kind of bad luck had decided to follow her that day. That was when he appeared. A car pulled up beside her, slowly, with the window rolling down. She took a step back at first, cautious. But then she saw his face. He didn't look dangerous. He looked kind, warm, and concerned. "Are you all right?" he asked, leaning slightly toward the passenger side. "Do you need a ride?" Emma hesitated. Every part of her brain told her to say no. She didn't know this man, but something in his voice, something in the calmness of his eyes made her feel safe. "Only if you're going the same way," she replied, half smiling. He smiled back. "Downtown?" She nodded and got in. That car ride changed everything. They talked like they had known each other for years. She found herself laughing at his jokes, watching the way his hands moved as he spoke, noticing the little scar above his eyebrow. He told her he worked in marketing, that he loved Italian food, and that he hated mornings. She told him she was a part-time teacher at an art school, still finishing her degree and still trying to figure out what to do with her life. When they reached her apartment, he gave her his number. "I'd like to see you again," he said, not even hiding the smile on his face. She called him 2 days later. He picked up on the first ring. For the next 6 months, they were almost inseparable. They went on long walks, cooked together, shared their dreams and fears. Emma had never felt more alive. Liam had a way of making her feel like she was the only woman in the world. He remembered the little things, her favorite chocolate, the way she hated loud places, the songs she hummed while painting. She introduced him to her friends. They liked him instantly. He was charming, thoughtful, always showing up with flowers or a bottle of wine. Her best friend, Claire, once joked, "If you don't marry him, I will." Emma laughed, but deep inside she was already imagining a future with Liam. A small house, maybe a dog, definitely kids. Liam seemed to feel the same. One evening, while they were lying on the couch, he turned to her and said, "I don't know how I got so lucky. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me." Her heart melted. They moved in together after a year. It was a small apartment, but it was filled with laughter and late-night conversations and takeout boxes. Life wasn't perfect, but it felt close. But then, things started to change. At first, it was small. Liam became more distracted. He started working late. He stopped texting her during the day. When she asked, he said work had gotten more stressful. She believed him. Then, he started taking his phone into the bathroom. He changed his password. He started going out with his friends from work more often. Emma tried not to overthink it, but doubt slowly crept in. One night, she decided to surprise him at the office. She brought dinner and his favorite coffee. But when she got there, the building was almost empty. The lights were off on his floor. A janitor told her that most people had left hours ago. Emma drove home in silence. Her mind raced. Maybe he had just gone somewhere after work. Maybe he forgot to tell her. But a voice inside her whispered, "He's lying." She didn't ask him that night. She watched him as he came in, smiling, pretending everything was normal. She nodded, pretended too, but her chest felt heavy. The next few weeks were hard. Emma tried to act normal, hoping it was all in her head. But Liam was different. He laughed less. He touched her less. When she reached out to hug him, he sometimes flinched. She felt like she was chasing someone who was slowly slipping away. Then came the phone call. It was a Sunday. Liam had gone out for coffee, saying he'd be back in 20 minutes. Emma was cleaning the kitchen when his phone buzzed on the counter. She didn't mean to look, but her eyes caught the screen, a name she didn't recognize. A message that said, "Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about you. Her hands shook. She unlocked the phone. The password hadn't changed. She scrolled through the messages. Her breath caught in her throat. There were dozens of them. Sweet messages, flirty messages, pictures, promises. Her Liam telling someone else that he missed her, wanted to see her, couldn't stop thinking about her. He called the other woman Babe. He told her he loved her. Emma dropped the phone. She couldn't breathe. Everything felt like a dream or a nightmare. The man she had loved, the one she shared a home with, the one she had imagined a life with, he was living a double life. When Liam walked back in, coffee in hand, he saw her face. "What's wrong?" he asked. But he already knew. Emma held up the phone. "I saw your messages," she said quietly. Her voice didn't shake. Her eyes didn't cry. She was too numb. He stood still. Then he looked away. "I can explain," he started. "Don't," she interrupted. "Just tell me the truth." Liam sat down. For a moment he was silent. Then he sighed. "It just happened," he said. "I didn't mean for it to. It started a few months ago. I didn't know how to tell you." Emma nodded slowly. She felt like her body was floating, like none of this was real. "Do you love her?" she asked. He looked down. "I don't know," he whispered. That was enough. Emma packed a bag that night. She didn't scream, she didn't throw things, she just left. She moved in with Claire for a while. Her days became quiet. Her heart was heavy. She didn't talk about Liam. She didn't talk much at all. People told her she was strong. But she didn't feel strong. She felt broken. Then one day, she got a message. It was from the woman, the one Liam had been seeing. Her name was Sophie. The message said, "I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I'm sorry. He told me he was single." Emma stared at the screen for a long time. Then she replied, "Thank you for telling me. I hope he didn't lie to you, too." Sophie responded, "He did." That's when Emma realized something. She wasn't the only one who had been betrayed. Sophie had been lied to as well. And suddenly, Emma didn't feel so alone. The healing didn't happen all at once. It took months. There were days she cried without reason, nights she couldn't sleep. But slowly, she started to put herself back together. She started painting again. She went back to teaching. She took long walks alone, learning to be okay with her own company. Liam tried to call her. He texted. He emailed. He said he missed her, that he made a mistake. But Emma never replied, because for the first time in a long time, she was learning to choose herself, and she wasn't going to let anyone break her again. Emma moved into a small apartment of her own after staying with Claire for a few months. It was quiet, too quiet sometimes. The walls were bare, and the only sound at night was the ticking of the old clock she found at a thrift store. But it was hers, her space, a place to breathe and try to forget. At first, she kept everything simple. A mattress on the floor, one small couch, a table near the window where she painted when she felt strong enough. She didn't want to decorate or build something new too fast. She needed time. Claire visited often, sometimes bringing food or wine, always bringing comfort. Emma didn't talk much about Liam anymore. There was nothing left to say. The betrayal had happened. The damage was done. Now she had to survive it. She started journaling again, like she used to in college. She wrote about the mornings she missed him and the nights she didn't. She wrote about the pain, but also about the small moments of hope. The way the sun hit the curtains, the laughter of children in the park nearby, the feeling of walking barefoot on the cold wooden floor. They were little things, but they mattered. Then one day, something unexpected happened. Emma had agreed to attend a local art event. Claire practically forced her to go, saying she needed to be around people again. Emma didn't feel ready, but she didn't want to disappoint her friend. The gallery was warm and filled with soft music. Paintings lined the walls, most of them abstract. Some bright and full of energy, others dark and heavy. Emma wandered quietly, holding a glass of juice, not really talking to anyone. Then she heard a voice beside her. "I like this one. It's messy, but honest." She turned and saw a man standing there. He had dark eyes, messy hair, and a gentle smile. He wore a simple black jacket and jeans, nothing flashy, just real. Emma looked at the painting. It was a swirl of red and black, angry and confused. "You think that's honesty?" she asked. He nodded. "I think pain is honest." She looked at him for a moment, then gave a small smile. "You sound like you've been through something." "Haven't we all?" he replied. They talked for a few minutes. His name was Noah. He was a photographer, mostly freelance, sometimes teaching part-time at the local college. He had a quiet confidence, the kind that didn't need to prove anything. Emma didn't plan to see him again, but he messaged her 2 days later. Just a simple, "Nice talking to you. Would you want to grab coffee sometime?" She stared at the message for a long time. Her first instinct was to say no. She wasn't ready. Her heart was still healing. But something about Noah felt different. So she said yes. Their first coffee was short, casual, and filled with small talk. He told her about his travels, the way he loved capturing street moments, how people's expressions told stories more than words ever could. She told him a little about her art, her students, the way she liked the smell of new books. They met again a week later, and again, and again. It wasn't a whirlwind like it was with Liam. It was slower, quieter, safer. Noah never rushed her. He didn't push her to open up. He just listened. When she did talk about her past, he didn't try to fix it. He simply held space for her. One day, after they had spent a whole afternoon walking through a flea market, he turned to her and said, "I like you, Emma. And I know you're still healing. I don't expect anything. But I want you to know I'm here." She didn't reply right away. She looked at him, really looked, and saw kindness, patience, someone who didn't want to possess her, just to be with her. "Thank you," she said softly. Their relationship was slow. Weeks passed, then months. Emma still had nightmares sometimes. She still woke up thinking of Liam. But those thoughts began to fade, replaced by warm memories with Noah. The way he laughed when she teased him. The way he always offered her the last piece of cake. The way he looked at her like she mattered. 1. Evening, as they sat on her tiny couch watching a movie, Noah turned to her and said, "Do you think you'll ever fall in love again?" Emma didn't answer for a moment. Then she whispered, "Maybe I already am." He kissed her then, gently, like he was afraid she'd break. They became more serious after that. Emma introduced him to Claire, who immediately gave her approval. "He's a keeper," she said with a grin. Life felt soft again, not perfect, but real. Then one evening, while Emma was cleaning out old boxes in her closet, she found something she had forgotten. A small notebook Liam had once gifted her. Inside were old notes, silly poems he had written for her, little drawings from when they were happy. She sat on the floor reading them, feeling a strange mix of emotions. She didn't cry. She didn't miss him. But she did feel something. Maybe sadness. Maybe just the memory of what could have been. That night she told Noah about it. "I found something from him," she said, sitting on the edge of the bed. Noah looked up. "Do you want to talk about it?" She nodded. "Not because I want him back, but because I want to let go completely." He reached out and took her hand. "Then talk." And she did. She told him everything. The good, the bad, the heartbreak. Noah listened without interrupting. When she finished, he kissed her forehead. "You're stronger than you think," he whispered. Emma slept peacefully that night, but life had one more surprise waiting. One afternoon, months later, Emma was walking home from the grocery store when she saw him. Liam. He was standing outside a cafe talking to someone. His hair was shorter, he looked tired, older maybe. He turned and their eyes met. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then he walked over. "Emma," he said, voice quiet. "Liam," she replied calmly. "You look good," he said. "So do you," she lied. They stood there, awkward and unsure. "I didn't expect to see you," he said. "I live nearby." "Right," he said, nodding. There was a pause. Then he said, "I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I needed you to know I regret what I did. Every day." Emma looked at him, the man who once shattered her world, and now he stood in front of her, full of guilt. She nodded. "Thank you for saying that. But I've moved on." His eyes softened. "I heard. You're with someone now." "Yes. His name is Noah." "Is he good to you?" "He is," she said with a smile. Liam stepped back, nodded again, then said, "I'm glad. You deserve it." Then he turned and walked away. Emma stood there for a moment, heart calm. No tears, no anger. Just peace. When she got home, Noah was cooking dinner. She walked up behind him and hugged him tightly. "What was that for?" he asked, smiling. "For being exactly who you are," she said. As they ate dinner, laughed about silly things, and made plans for a weekend trip, Emma realized something. This was what love was supposed to feel like. Not drama, not confusion, not pain, just trust. But things were never that simple. A few weeks later, Claire came over with a serious face. "I need to tell you something," she said, sitting down. Emma frowned. "What is it?" "It's about Noah." Emma froze. Her chest tightened. "What about him?" Claire looked nervous. "I'm not saying it's something bad, just... I heard something. My cousin works at the college where he teaches sometimes. She said Noah used to date one of the professors there. It ended weirdly. There were rumors." Emma stared at her. "What kind of rumors?" Claire shrugged. "I don't know. That he was involved with more than one woman at the same time, that he wasn't who he pretended to be." Emma's heart began to race. "Noah's not like that," she said. "He's not Liam." "I'm just telling you what I heard," Claire said gently. "Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just gossip. But I thought you should know." Emma nodded slowly. That night when Noah came over, she looked at him differently. She wanted to believe in him. She needed to. But a small seed of doubt had been planted. And once a seed is planted, it grows. Emma couldn't sleep that night. Claire's words kept repeating in her head. She didn't want to believe it. She had worked too hard to rebuild her heart. She had trusted again, finally, and now the shadow of betrayal was back, knocking at her door. The next morning, she sat across from Noah in her small kitchen, both hands wrapped around a mug of coffee she hadn't touched. "Can I ask you something?" she said. Noah looked up, surprised. "Of course," she hesitated. "Did you ever date someone from the college? A professor?" His expression changed slightly, subtle, but she noticed. "I did," he said slowly. "Why?" Emma's heart dropped a little. "Claire told me she heard something. That you were involved with more than one woman. That things ended badly." Noah leaned back in his chair. He didn't get defensive. He didn't raise his voice. "It was complicated," he said. "Yes, I dated a professor there. Her name was Jenna. We were seeing each other for a few months, but I ended it when I realized she wasn't honest with me." Emma watched him carefully. "What do you mean?" "She was married," he said. I didn't know until someone else told me. When I confronted her, she tried to twist it. Said they were separated. But it wasn't true. I left. Emma blinked. That wasn't what she expected. And the rumors? She asked. Noah sighed. People talk. Jenna had friends at the college. They made me look like the villain. I didn't try to defend myself. I just wanted to leave it behind. Emma felt something shift inside her, confusion mixed with a quiet understanding. She had been on the other side of betrayal. She knew how people could lie, how the truth could get buried. Still, doubt whispered in her ear. Why didn't you ever tell? Me? She asked. I wanted to, Noah said. But we were just starting something real. I didn't want my past to poison it. There was silence between them. Emma nodded slowly. Okay. But inside, the seed of doubt had already taken root. Over. The next few weeks, things changed, not on the surface. Noah still smiled, still held her hand, still said the right things, but Emma felt distant, disconnected. Her mind kept circling back to Liam, to how everything had once seemed perfect before it shattered. What if Noah was the same? One evening, while Noah was in the shower, Emma glanced at his phone on the table. It was unlocked. A message popped up on the screen from someone named Lena. Her stomach turned. She picked up the phone. The message read, "Can't stop thinking about that night. When can we meet again?" Her hands shook. She opened the chat. There were only a few messages, all recent, flirty, suggestive. Why now, she thought. Why again? Noah came out of the bathroom moments later and saw the phone in her hand. He froze. Emma, who is Lena? She asked quietly. He didn't answer. Her voice rose. Are you sleeping with her? Noah rubbed his face. It's not what you think. That's exactly what Liam said. No, he said quickly. Please, I didn't cheat on you. I didn't even meet her in person. I was stupid. I was feeling insecure. I started chatting with someone online. It didn't go far. I didn't mean to hurt you. Emma stared at him. It always starts that way, she whispered. Just chatting, just curiosity, and then it becomes more. Lies, secrets, distance. I was afraid, he said. You've been pulling away. I felt like I was losing you. So you decided to find someone else? She snapped. No, I didn't sleep with her. I swear. I didn't know how to deal with my fear. I'm sorry. Tears welled up in Emma's eyes. You knew what I've been through. You knew what Liam did. And still, you chose this? Noah stepped forward. Emma, please, don't throw this away. We're not perfect, but we're real. She shook her head. Noah, love isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing someone even when it's hard. But you didn't choose me. You chose temptation. He tried to speak, but she raised her hand. I can't do this again. I won't. That night, she asked him to leave. He cried. He begged. But she didn't change her mind. When he finally walked out the door, Emma sat on the floor, her heart breaking all over again. She had trusted again. And again, she was betrayed. Weeks passed. She didn't cry this time, not like before. She was tired of crying. Instead, she focused on herself, on healing. She joined a local art community, started teaching workshops, traveled a little. She smiled more, laughed more. One morning, she woke up and realized she hadn't thought of Noah or Liam in days. That was the day she painted again. Not just for work, but for herself. It was bright, bold, full of color. Claire came over later and stared at the canvas. It's beautiful, she said. Emma smiled. It's how I feel. You look stronger, Claire said. I am. And it was true. Love had failed her twice. But it didn't mean she failed. She had learned. She had survived, and she had found herself again. One evening, Emma walked through the park alone. The wind was soft, the trees full of green. She sat on a bench, closed her eyes and breathed in the quiet. Closed her eyes and breathed in the quiet peace around her. She wasn't waiting for someone to come save her. She didn't need anyone to complete her. She was whole, and that was enough.